Christians in Australia have never suffered the kind of persecution that others around the world have. But the Victorian government has recently passed and is continuing to pass laws that will deeply impact Christianity and will mean that some Christians end up in jail. So the question is not how do we change so that it doesn't happen. The question is, what will you do when you end up in jail? Here are some suggestions.
To live is Christ, to die is gain.
G'day everyone, Brian here. It's a strange reality that in Victoria, Christians really are facing the reality of going to jail. Going to jail for praying with people in a certain way, going to jail for speaking with people in a certain way, in ways that we have done for many, many years. But now, the threat of jail is over us. The Bible gives us some wisdom though on what to do if we get there. We're looking at Philippians, we're in chapter 1, but if we go back to Acts chapter 16, we will see that Paul has already been in jail in Philippi. And what did he and Silas do there? You might remember that around midnight they were singing hymns. They were singing songs to the glory of God. God sent an earthquake, the jail door was opened. They didn't escape though. Instead they remained there, and the jailer, seeing the glory of God and the humility of these men who remained, said, "What must I do to be saved?" God turned up even in jail. We see something similar here because Paul is writing the letter to the Philippian church while he is in prison. Here's what he says. "I want you to know, brothers and sisters, that what has happened to me has really served to advance the gospel. As a result, it has become clear throughout the whole palace guard and to everyone else that I am in chains for Christ." What has happened to Paul? Well, he's in jail. What for? For proclaiming the gospel, for preaching Jesus as the only Lord, not Caesar, not an emperor, but Jesus alone as Lord, a cry that is still important for Christian people today. And we still believe Jesus is the only Lord. We don't end up in jail for that yet, but Paul did. And he says that being there has served to advance the gospel. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? That to advance the gospel means being out and about and doing and preaching. But Paul's in prison, and that is advancing the gospel. Why? Because he is preaching the gospel while he is there. It's become clear throughout the whole palace guard that I am in chains for Christ. He is clearly preaching the gospel even while he is there. So, what do we do when we end up in jail for our faith? When we end up in prison because we have sought to be faithful to Jesus? Here's the answer. We continue to be faithful to Jesus. And we preach the gospel that says sinners like me and you can be saved. How? Only through Jesus Christ. I pray we don't end up in jail, but if we do, let's be ready to stand for the gospel and preach it there. Have a great day. I'll see you tomorrow.